One second, one second. Let me tie it up, then you pull it. I'll bring one more and
They want you to turn because they want to see.
I'll bring one more and come.
Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai 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 Ram Om. Hari Om to everybody.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om.
Morning, online is not needed.
For the past few days, Papa has been directing our attention on how to make the inward journey more and more effective. All of us are chanting God's name. It has become a part of us. We enjoy hearing the chanting. We enjoy the chanting even. That is some stage we have reached, but the real stage is that it should connect oneself with the power that is making us to chant. The first step is we have to enjoy the chanting. That stage all of us have reached. But now we should not be satisfied with that, because suddenly we realize we are nowhere near the goal. In spite of... Who is that?
This is my sister and mother.
Mute.
Your sister like
This one. No.
the mushroom.
Who is it?
Hari Om, will you please mute?
These are my cousins.
One second. Oh, they won't be able to hear this Aishwarya talking. I'll tell her to keep quiet.
It's my brother's car, cousin brother's. And you want to see my,
Please hold on, please hold on.
They can't hear it since long.
But yeah, this is my family. We both look alike? Yes. Oh, I see. I see. Another photo. I look like mommy or daddy?
Your mommy.
Oh, thank you.
Your mommy and your sister. Both.
Ah. Yeah, that's
आप लोगों ने
So, for the past few days, Papa has been drawing our attention on the inward journey, a process by which we try to connect ourselves with the reality within, the Atman within, the power who is making us to chant within. Many of us would not have applied our mind seriously on this. That is why, though we chant, we enjoy, it is limited to that particular period. The moment we come out of the chanting, the me and mine is intact. When the me and mine is intact, the presence of the reality is forgotten. So now all of us have to intensely make use of the chanting for connecting ourselves with the spirit within us. It is a struggle because we have not applied our mind so far. So various ways of interpretation have been given by Papa. He said you chant, you try to concentrate upon the sound, and then try to recognize or realize that the sound comes from that soundlessness. Through the sound, we enter into the soundlessness within. Because sound is something which is palpable, we can easily understand. But soundlessness is not possible, it is only a word. Silence is only a word. What is silence, we cannot explain. But sound or word we can explain. So that is why he said, through the sound, we enter into the soundlessness within. So we try that. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. The sound is floating now. Through that sound, where from that sound comes. This is one method. Another method he says, you chant, mentally you start chanting then you become one with the chanting, then the chanting stops. It doesn't remain in that condition for a long time. Again thought comes, so again we take to chanting. Chanting means mental chanting. So we will today again we will start with one particular quotation. He says, the mind that listens with love to the divine name is at once arrested. It stops its distracting activities and becomes completely still. Stillness is achieved by regaling the mind with the sweetness of Ramnam. We have been reading this, but I don't think we have been able to understand really. The mind that listens with love to the divine name is at once arrested. Stop immediately. The mind that listens with love. The mind that listens with love to the divine name is at once arrested. We are also chanting. Do we chant with love? We try to understand that word, If we say at times I enjoy, what happens at that time? If it is coming and going, then that cannot be a real one. The mind that listens with love, the mind that listens with love, the mind that listens with love to the divine name is at once arrested.
It means self-serving of somebody. Self-serving of
We have to apply our mind and watch ourselves, not intellectually understanding. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram 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 Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. What happened?
Concentration increases. Mind focuses more intensely. The mind focuses completely on it.
The mind that listens with love to the divine name is at once arrested. The mind is arrested. Okay. Yeah. The mind is arrested. Arrested means what?
Mind stops functioning.
Thought. Yes.
One feels like staying in that state forever.
One feels like
At least
staying
for
in
some
that
more
state
time.
forever.
After listening to them.
Yeah. Again, little more. All these things are right, but have we captured the real meaning? The mind that listens with love to the divine name is at once arrested. Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama Om Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Jai Ram Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama Om Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Jai Ram. Sri Rama Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama Om. Sri Rama Jai Rama Jai Jai Ram. Sri Rama Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama Om. Sri Rama Jai Rama Jai Jai Ram. Different tunes we try. You know? What happens? What happens? What happens? The mind that listens with love to the divine name is at once arrested.
That wandering will stop. Wandering, mind wandering will stop. When you chant it down.
Just try mentally, you know. Let us not answer this question. We are trying to understand it, no? Each one tries in their own way. Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Anyway, this we have to try, okay? Idea is the mind that listens with love. What does that love stands for?
Bhakti, wandering.
Intellectual, these are all.
Joy.
Huh?
Joy.
Something that grips the heart and makes, then automatically the mind will focus on that.
What is meant by love?
Love.
Like
L-O-V-E.
is love for
L-O-V-E.
What is meant by love? Love is the feeling of oneness.
Love is the feeling.
Happiness without reason.
Huh?
Happiness without reason.
Wait. No. Here.
Happiness without reason.
Okay. Somebody here says, love is oneness self. Start applying. The lover and the loved become one, no? The lover and the loved, the subject and the object become one. Let us see whether that is what Papa meant. So that means when I chant, suppose I keep on feeling that I am chanting, and this will not happen. But the moment that feeling goes, only chanting takes place. The mind listens, you know. Then I am not there. So 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, we will try. We have to try. As the other day we said, let us not mix it up with whatever we are doing during our ashram program or our, any functions. There we continue with the same procedure. Because there is a collective sitting. But this is individual sitting. And if we get a grip on that individual, Even if we are in the collective, we will be able to maintain. We all enjoy Ram Nam. We all love Ram Nam. Then what happened? Does it stay with us? So in between, I am the chanter. It might be stealthily coming. One has to experience, one has to watch. And when this word is very important. The mind that listens with love to the divine name is at once arrested. It stops its distracting activities, mind stops its distracting activities and becomes completely still. Stillness is achieved by regaling the mind with the sweetness of Ram Nam. Some explanation is given. That means we also try to understand the sweetness. Elsewhere he would tell us, at the moment we are not aware of the sweetness because of the low passions of the heart. So that means absolute purity is essential for enjoying the sweetness. So when the chanting is done just for the sake of chanting, oh, I have my chanting session, I am going there. Initially that is all. That's why we said we don't disturb anything that is going on in a collective way. Because it is a collective get together. We are all sadhakas joined together. But individual sadhana, we have tried all these things, So that means some refining, some tuning, some adjustment is still to be made. And in Papa's case, when we go through directly, the moment the Nama is chanted, he was able to link himself with the stillness. And later on, Nama was not necessary for him. Think. So while chanting intensely, without allowing the mind to go anywhere, with the right perspective, he was always connecting himself to the stillness within, not with the chanting. And then gradually it enabled him to keep up that stillness even without chanting. That is why he said utterance of God's name is to make the mind ultimately still, free from all thoughts. It is in the stillness that you know and realize God. We must be friendly with the... No, that is not the word. That means when we eat a sweet or when we hear a music, of our choice, even when it is stopped, we enjoy, the raga. What is that? That is why he said, regaling the mind with the sweetness of Ram.
Interest and dedication.
When you say interest, it is more like a lingering bliss, isn't it?
Interest and dedication.
Think, there is no direct answer. because he has brought it from his experience. We are trying to understand because how to make my Ramnam more effective, He gives us some clues. That means I must get myself taste. I must taste the stillness ultimately. Does that stillness mean that sweetness of Ramnam? We have to think.
Practical application.
Start thinking. Start thinking deeply. Does stillness mean the sweetness of Ramnam?
After mind becomes smell, sweetness will come. You feel like it, sweetness. After mind is come.
So these are all some points Papa is giving us to go deep within. The mind that listens with love to the divine name is at once arrested. It stops its distracting activities and becomes completely still. Stillness is achieved by regaling the mind with the sweetness of Ramnam. Regaling. A harmonious relationship with the regaling. How can we translate?
With that,
Amusing.
come back family.
Irupa, ile. Huh?
Is it a samadhi sthiti?
No.
Huh? No. Stillness.
After
She's
because
asking is stillness a samadhi sthiti?
Eh?
She's asking is stillness a samadhi sthiti?
You can say that. Stillness, yes. We can name it as Sahaj Samadhi or something. So he has experienced, he is sharing with us. As devotees of Papa, as children of Papa, we are trying to understand so that we can improve our quality of chanting. Now the chanting goes on. To some extent, we are all enjoying it, but it has not touched the core. It has not touched the core. Any slight thing at the physical level, mental level, intellectual level, it upsets us. We don't feel that he is within us and he is causing all these things. We are not asking him why. We are only blaming. We are only finding fault with objects, persons, and situations. This is the acid test. So that Ramnam is not what Papa wants us to chant. Ramnam should ultimately enable us to get ourselves connected with the core of our being. And the moment the core of our being is touched, it stays with us. It's not coming and going. So that means the divine name and the stillness, Divine name and the stillness. How closely connected with each other, which fact none of us have understood. Slowly now we are trying to understand through introducing this Mona session. Yes, that is also right. But can we interpret that when we mentally train our mind to chant, the chances of its distraction will be less. It could be less, sorry, not it is not less. Still, mind chanting and the mind can go out. That is why he probably used the word love. No, it will not go out. The mind that listens with love to the divine name.
Listening with love.
Huh?
It just doesn't say chanting, it is listening with love. So that means to rise above just the chanting, to go to the listening level. So chanting and listening is together.
Morning is about listening with love, about
Yeah. Each one has to try and dig out. If we try to dig out the answer, probably we might be going nearer to it. Is it listening and chanting?
Listening like chanting.
You can close your eyes and then you mentally chant and mentally try to listen. Mentally you chant, not vocally. If that is difficult, you vocally chant and listen. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai. Shri Ram, Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om. Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om. Listening to the chanting,
So you get absorbed in the chant, so then you forget, you get absorbed in the chanting, so you forget yourself, then you become one with God.
it could be. So each one has to try. Now we know what Papa wants us to do. We will put ourselves on the training. Vocal chanting, we try to listen. Mental chanting, we try to listen. And when the listening takes place, what is felt, Probably we might be, after getting that, we might be able to link, we might be able to understand these words. The mind that listens. We have, to be very frank, honest, we have not applied our mind on listening. Chanting is going on. We are habituated to a particular chanting, so it goes on automatically. Joy is there. But Papa wants us to listen to that chanting. Not listening to somebody's chanting. Initially, we train our mind by listening to others chanting. Agreed. And watch ourselves whether the mind is totally involved in listening. Anyway, everybody can try. Let us see how everybody gets some clue about it. Mauna helps in calming the mind. External mauna gives you internal mauna or stillness of the mind. The purpose of mauna is this. It is not mere mechanical control of speech. When the river starts, there is perfect stillness. The running water is active and noisy in its course, until it attains its calm again when it meets the ocean. The sleeping bird starts up early in the morning, flies about from tree to tree. When the evening comes, it regains its nest and calm again. From silence all come, to silence all revert. All activity is rounded by silence.
By way of stillness, become silent. By way of stillness, become silent.
This particular word, kindly think of it. From silence all come, to silence all revert. All activity is rounded by silence.
The mind becomes stillness. Automatically it becomes silent. Soundlessness.
All activity is rounded by silence. In between thoughts, there is silence. In between words, it is silence.
Even actions. You run around, do stuff, and then you come down, sit down, and have.
But IT people work for 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours.
And you got
That means when we are violating that, we are paying for it. The truth is, we are surrounded by silence. From silence all come. From deep sleep, I get up. Again I crave for sleep. To silence all revert. All activity is rounded by silence. All between the thoughts there is silence. I don't know that. So I have been asked to take up the chanting. Then chanting arrests all other thoughts. Only the chanting remains. And then we try to experience the one chanting and the other chanting. Then realize that chanting comes from the silence. Like that, let us try. It's a very, very, very thought-provoking. From silence all come, to silence all revert, all activity is rounded by silence. In the space everything exists. Space remains untouched and unaffected. Silence remains untouched and unaffected. From silence, in this space everything is put. So in the silence we put all these sound. Then he says, utterance of God's name is to make the mind ultimately still, free from all thoughts. In that stillness it is that you know and realize God. Bhajan, Kirtan, Namasmaran are all means to that end. You have to repeat, chant or sing the name, no doubt, for a certain period. After that repetition must cease. The mind must become perfectly still. In that stillness, duality is transcended, and the repeated, the devotee and God become one. When just one experience we remembered now. Many of you might have had such experience. Probably when we say probably it will come to you, then we might know what exactly is meant by this stillness. When we were in Chennai, there is a particular house in Raipata. Nowadays it may not be there. So every 15 days or something like that, one day, even evening by about 6 or 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, Kottamangalam Shubbu, his house. So we used to go there. We will be about 10 or 15 people, at best 20 people. Great musicians will come. And they will start singing. It goes on till 12 o'clock, purely for sadhana. So one day, Madhuramani, Madhura Somu, he was invited. So as soon as he came, and suddenly, he will go to the high pitch. So after hearing, it was about 10:30, nobody was able to get up. But somehow, unknowingly, we got up and told him, Madhuramale Mamaniye Murugaya, Padreda. Oh, Sandosh. He was very happy. And in the last, you all remember, if you have heard that, top. And the tears will be coming out of his house. Because to him, Lord Muruga was standing before him. blessing him. And now I am trying to understand. He was lifting every one of us. Pin drop silence. Every one of us, he will lift us to that state. And even after so many years, we are remembering, that means what? And finally, we will go to the top and then come back, So whenever there is any music performance, even in a big, we used to write a chit and send it to him. Whenever we attend, we used to send a chit to the artist, what we like most. Because then now we are understanding. At that time, it was an enjoyment, inexplicable enjoyment, but it leaves a deep dent in our mind. Shambai Vaidyanatha Bhagavatar means Karuna Chaivanandu Tamasam Hare Krishna. In Nilambari, he will beautifully sing, and everybody will get melted in that. Why are you delaying to show your compassion? That is the meaning. Karuna Chaivanandu Tamasam Hare Krishna. Kadalina Kai Toludnen. So like that, whenever we attend any program, we will find one of their masterpieces. If Murugadas comes, we will always say, Ada the Ashanga the Vakarna. One more. ഒരു പുല്ലായി പിറവി തര വേണ്ടും. പുനിതமான പല തന്നാലും വൃന്ദാവനം അതിലൊരു പുല്ലായി പിറവി തര വേണ്ടും. കല്ലാകിലും പുല്ലാകിലും നില്ലാതോ കല്ലാവായിരുതാ. And the devotion, I think then we try to understand, they were able to touch and kindle the devotion in us. And devotion means becoming one with it. That is why even after that period, it leaves a dent. And that comes out from something. So we have to now find out whether it has got any connection with it. That means at the time of listening, yes, we are not chanting. At the time of listening, what happens in us? Certain mantras, certain tune, no?
Harmony song.
Om Bhur Bhuvassuvaha Tatsavidur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayad. Then what happens? It's not simply telling. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinamati Tamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So that means when we listen, something happens, It's not chanting, listening. So when you listen with, at once it is arrested. Listening, very nice. Listening. So our chanting we should be able to listen to our chanting. Yes.
opens our heart.
In yogic, this one language, they say it opens the heart chakra.
Opens the heart. Correct. Listening opens the heart. Listening with love. Listening. Then, stillness of the mind is essential in order to experience absolute peace and bliss. A wandering mind cannot see God. It must become still. Still the waves of the mind and see the Atman. After attaining the Atman, you see that all this is Brahman. Stillness of the mind is essential in order to experience absolute peace and bliss. A wandering mind cannot see God. It must become still. Stillness, still the waves of the mind. and see the Atman. After attaining Atman, you see that all this is Brahman. Once the mind ceases to be restless, being free from thoughts and desires, that moment we are not individuals, but pure consciousness, which is at once cosmic and supercosmic. Stillness of the mind awakens in us a consciousness which is full of radiance and ecstasy. Now we know that we are the truth, the eternal. Nice. Once the mind ceases to be restless, being free from thoughts and desires, that moment we are not individuals, but pure consciousness, which is at once cosmic and supercosmic. Stillness of the mind awakens in us a consciousness which is full of radiance and ecstasy. Now we know that we are the truth, the eternal. So today Papa wants us to draw our attention on listening. Let us all try in our own way. Anything that we listen, not merely Ramnam, anything that we listen, consciously listening, mindfully listening. Other times, okay, a little. We will set apart 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 minutes to consciously listen, ensuring that the mind does not go here and there. I will do it only when I love that particular one. So let us try. Let us see how on Monday how he leads us to the next one. Very important point today. Listening to the Ramnam. The mind that listens to Ramnam is at once arrested. So let that word come back again and again, and we chant. We try, and then see for ourselves whether it is leading us to the stillness within. Okay, then coming back to tomorrow. Tomorrow is Saturday, 12th. 16 years back, it was on this day he chose to drop the body. And tomorrow we are remembering the moment the Mahasamadhi Day word is uttered of Swamiji, we remember Swamiji. What is important is to remember him. And what do we remember? First, we may remember his personal touch to us, his concern for us, or his concern for everybody, or his humbleness, something. But that we have been enjoying, so what? It gave us some joy, sentimental joy, emotional joy. It is still there, no doubt. But what is needed is how he was able to maintain that steadiness. How am I going to get that steadiness? I cannot follow him because his growing, his reaching the state, his experience, his world, everything is different with us. So we will not be able to copy his name. So what can be done? So we are trying to find out what is it that impressed us. The moment we see his image, the moment we utter his name, we try to find out that. Not for somebody's opinion. What is it that connects me to him? Probably many can remember the first day when you met him. Or when you start observing certain things in him. When you start observing the certain things in what? Quality, the tenderness. Nowadays, as we shared the other day, nowadays we try to understand what Papa has mentioned about Ramana Maharshi, that passionless tenderness. Because having had the wonderful opportunity of associating with him for 14 years, there have been many instances where we were able to understand this and even asked him bluntly also, that how are you in a position to detach yourself and love others? Detaching oneself from everybody and loving. He has no attachment to anybody. But at the same time, he has got passion, no? He has got that love. That love he has got. The love he has got, that he makes us understand that he has got love. Without any words. What is that, you know? It comes in so many forms, but we should know that it is the purest form of love. Purest form of the love. One example, no? One example. Initially, when we started coming almost on a regular basis in 89, for 15 days we used to be here, 15 days we used to be in Wayanad. So on the 15th day morning, Swamiji knows that we are going. Normally we leave after the meal and catch the Madras mail, which reaches the station by 2:15 or something, reaches Calicut by 5:30, then take a bus, reach Wayanad. So morning we would have 10:30, 11 o'clock, whatever work we are doing, and then finally Swamiji, as if he doesn't know anything, he will be sitting there and says, "Oh, nee ponam leva." Bazaar. Then whenever we go out and arrange something, he would have put so many things in the bag and simply innocently sitting there. So when I go there and do pranams, bag it to. I take the bag and then suppose it is about 1:30 to 1:30, 1:45. So I thought, Swamiji must be now sleeping. So I will quietly request the auto man to come. And when I reach the flag post, you will find with the umbrella, Swamiji coming out of Ramana building and standing there looking as if looking at somebody. So immediately we see Swamiji rush up the steps, again do the pranams. Oh, Portugaya Jalwa. Simple signs. Not a word. Not a word. Not a word. So somehow he has got a knack, unique method, not attached to anything. Yeah, not attached to anything. So now, after reading Papa's words on Ramana Maharshi, that passionless tenderness. Tenderness means love, tenderness. At the same time, passionless. There is no binding there. So suppose we start thinking about it, not for our sentimental joy. Suppose we try to understand the spiritual truth behind it. Tomorrow being is 16th Mahasamadhi day. So we can assert, Swamiji, you have only dropped the body, you are still within us. As a power that is alive, even the body also comes to us in our mind. Your various body languages that we have seen, that also is there. But now you also try to make us understand what is behind that. Then we will slowly realize it is nothing but expansiveness in the love. That's all. Nobody is irrelevant, nobody is unimportant, nobody is insignificant. When we were watching Mataji, we used to get this. And then we don't discuss, In Swamiji's case, we can be very blunt. With the usual smile, he will reply. At times he will reply, at times he will not reply. He will make us to deduce, form our own opinion. He will simply smile and keep quiet. So something tomorrow, so that the day does not just leave like that. One aspect we try to understand, and how the expansiveness, the inclusiveness became a second nature. That is the best way of paying homage to him. They don't need any of our, appreciation, recognition, all those things they don't. But they will be definitely happy if we are touched and kindled by any of their words, any of their behavior, by which this subtle truth is touched, expansiveness. One day when we were taking down guidelines, what is the name of that Swamiji's points upon that? Love expansively, correct. Love expansively and enjoy the eternal happiness. In one of his talks, when he delivered the talk and we were trying to capture or put it as a capsule, this is the word that came. Love expansively and enjoy eternal happiness. Not love limited to any particular person. Though the person may interpret that he is loving me. That particular person may interpret that I am loved more. He cares me more. But when you watch him from a distance, how he treats everybody, then you will understand, it is available for everybody in the same measure. Love expansively and enjoy eternal happiness. More of it tomorrow we will try. Tomorrow. And day after tomorrow we are having that Mauna session again. We remind. Tomorrow at this time, 3:30 to 4:30, we all assemble here. We will request all the participants also to assemble. We will brief them about day after tomorrow's program and also share something about Swamiji's inspiring life and mission. At 11:30 or 11:30, 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock also we will share something. But the idea is this, not for sharing. It is an opportunity has been offered to us to remember what is in our mind. That remembrance comes because it has deeply touched us. And that if we keep it aflame, it will have its own positive impact on our thinking, quality of thinking. Because that comes from the purest mind. So when we think anything about the purest mind, it will also have some impact. Probably that could be the gain for tomorrow's remembering. Otherwise, everything will be exactly like same. The only thing is we will go at 5:45 to Samadhi Mandir, offer flowers, and at the time of flower offering, before that we may share something, and then at 12 o'clock also we may share, and all will have Kanabas. But no, that should not be. That is not the purpose. The purpose is to remember some aspect of his life. And next month we have, in December we have Papa's Sannyas Day, It should be, if we train our mind, what is the importance of that? That probably every day, every such 7 days in a year will be a joyful thing. Otherwise it is like every day. Previously we were thinking that we will get payasam on that day. Sweet will be there, that's all. Otherwise what else? It has not left any deep impact of their life. Now we are removing everything and then we are trying to find out what is it that connects us to him as a person? What is it that enables us to connects us to the ideal he represents? First person and then the ideal. So tomorrow we request everybody to think on those lines. Those who have had the privilege of having the darshan of Swamiji, even for a short time, and those who have not, at least they must have heard something. Only 16 years have passed, so many of the devotees must be, only new devotees would not have seen, that's all. So let us try to spend the day with that feeling. And more on this on Monday. Listening. Hari Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.